I climbed walls, scattered gravel, and smelled everything my tongue touched. Adventure would always come searching for me against my will. But my tales were almost always good to me. Many of my adventures ended with a slight breeze. My 16th tale, however, had a fond attraction to my backside. Hallowed bells rang 24 a day where I lived, and the night my 16th grew in, it grew an inch too far. The golden, square teeth of the grandfather clock caught and tugged at my tail, but my powerful 16th refused to be a sacrifice, dragging my body to the fate of my tales before me. Perhaps evolution got the best of me. Watches were my profession, product, and my invention. The digital watch, to be exact. I could have sold my watches anywhere I went with ease. I was so good I could have sold abacuses in electronic stores and still make millions. But I didn't. I never left my house in the Hamptons. I didn't have to sell because of my father, bless his soul. I was a millionaire, but after the incident, I had no one. I lived alone in an old, historic mansion. I was a man who invented the future, but was addicted to the past, and no one knew. Only pictures and clocks walked my halls. My death happened in the light of the day, during a tremendous earthquake of size the Hamptons never saw before. The house rocked and swayed my rooms and furniture like a metronome. My antique silver-lined oil lamp chandelier tore my cottonwood root floorboards as it crashed to the ground. My wicker furniture split before it even had time to talk over. There was a grandfather clock in my basement. It was my most prized possession, with a solid redwood casing, diamond-encrusted golden handles and pendulums, a pure pearl face, and a detail of gold leaves painted with gold leaf paint brushed down the foreglass revealing the pendulums. I sat on the cold concrete below, with my back to a charcoaled well, waiting for the earthquake to subside, staring at that beautiful clock. The earthquake ended, but I sat silently, waiting for the aftershock. It came, twice as hard as the quake, and that clock toppled over. Its brute force and speed transferred to my forehead. I stopped, but the clock did not. Forever to tick and tock for an empty house, I am finally able to see her again. I was 16 when I died. His door was the last I would ever knock on. I was out selling Girl Scout cookies when I approached his elegant mansion. He invited me in, and I took down his order. It came from nowhere, a sharp and powerful darkness. I woke up, naked, on the bottom of a hole in the mansion's basement. The base of a candle, the likes of which I would often see on Sunday, was buried in the ground, sticking 20 or so feet up near the edge of the hole, lit just enough to reflect off the glass of a small clock hung on the opposite side of the hole. There were wooden barrels guarding the edge of the hole. It smelled of gasoline. My hair was gone. Dried blood on the back of my neck crumbled as I scratched it away. It descended to join the puddle of crimson below me. His footsteps grew louder as he neared, stepping in unison with the deathly beat of the clock. He stopped just outside the barrels. I never saw his face. "What time is it?" he asked me. I looked at the clock across the 6-foot hole and told him what it read. He threw a lizard down to me. "This is Larry. He is your food. Use him wisely." I knew I would starve to death if I ate that lizard in whole. Every day, once a day, he would come. All he ever wanted was the time. But in 3 months' time, living off lizard tail and digging for mucky water, the candle burned mere inches from the ground, the lizard escaped up the face of the hole, and the clock had ticked its last tock. I was unable to tell Walter the correct time. With a scream of rage, the barrels came down, exploding with petroleum, mixing with the flame of the candle. I saw him crying as he pushed them over. My time was up.